All right, we're gonna go back up in these hills behind me. There is an old Indian lookout up there. It's been a while since I've been back up there. I'm certain it's still there. We'll find a way back and take a look. Okay, we're gonna follow this trail around here, and we're headed right up into that mountain, which is right there. That's where that should be. Okay, well, I want to point this out. What you see right here on this ridge line, this looks like an old mining road. What they would do is they would come along the ridges between the washes and then cut it flat so they get their equipment up here. Let's go take a look. I know there was a lot of quartz mining done up in these hills in the 70s. And I'm sure we're going to see some remnants of some filled in mines here. Yeah, you can just see this was cut through. Looks like we have something right up here. We'll take a quick look. Yeah, this is an open pit. Looking for quartz. It's filled in. All these mines up here are. Looks like there's another one right over in that area. So kind of interesting. All right, kind of interesting as we come up this hill and see there's another remnant of an old mine. Now, I'm not an expert miner, and I've been told that a lot of times these are quite deep and then filled in, and sometimes they are just dug a little ways as they search for the quartz in this instance. And then if they don't see what they're looking for, they will just abandon it. This could be one of those. I want to show you this because this is kind of what they're looking for here. It's crystal quartz. You can see it in the granite. Pretty interesting stuff. Okay. As we're climbing up the hill right now, we're getting a little closer. We're headed right up onto that mountain right there. Should be there shortly. You probably noticed a lot of this dark colored rock, and you can see it all over here on the hill and right here in front of me. This is a variation of granite, black granite. Take a look at it here. It's all over. This looks like. As it decomposes, it takes on kind of a grainy structure that you can see here on the ground. But this is probably something of interest. These lichen grow on many rocks, these being one, and helps with the decomposition process. You can see some of that starting right in this area right there. That's that green lichen. Pretty interesting. Lots of this around here. Okay, this is interesting here. What you can see is some of that quartz that we talked about earlier. They're up here in the hills some time ago mining. Here it is. Nice little vein running through that granite rock. Interesting. As we come up through this rock pile, you can see that there is a nest or a little home for some rodents out here in the desert. And what's interesting, it's made out of the cactus needles, which is very abundant here. These pieces fall off, the little animals come and drag them back into their homes. Try to give you a little bit of an example. These things are sticky, but they bring them back in here, create a nice nest. All right, interesting. Okay, well, here this is, the Indian Lookout. I was back up here several years ago. I'll tell you a little bit about that a little later in the video, and it was noticeably deeper. Some of the rocks have fallen in off the sides. Pretty interesting. This is definitely not a natural structure. This was made, man-made, and I truly don't know how old this actually is, but pretty interesting find up here on this hill out in the Sonoran Desert. Well, as I mentioned, I don't know that this has a name, and I know very little about it. Many years ago, someone told me that there was an Indian lookout up on top of that mountain, and I ventured back up here in the early 2000s and stumbled across it. This is it. This area's changed a lot. Back at that time, this was relatively wide open with not much out in this area. About 15 years ago, they took this area, cordoned it off, and made a preserve out of it. It's called the Sunrise Preserve. They've done a really good job. There's lots of really nice trails. It's very large, relatively secluded, and this is part of that Sunrise Preserve. So I hope you enjoyed the trek up here, and we will see you guys on another video.